I'm sure most folks already know you, but for those who maybe don't, could you tell us a little bit about your background here in
Okay.
Decatur?
Well, I was born and raised in Decatur and returned to my hometown as a Vietnam veteran returning from war. And so I worked for several companies, national companies, during my career. And when I retired in 2013, I was the executive director of the Macon County History Museum.
And so obviously you're also no stranger to politics. Can you tell us a little bit about your time in office?
Right. Well, I was on the city council for 10 years after several tries. I first won a seat in 2011. And so I continued to run for 10 years, and then I decided I needed a sabbatical. I had some medical problems, and my mother was dying, and so I was the only caregiver. So, I was approached here right before Thanksgiving. There was an opening, and I was asked if I would think about running, and it had been in the back of my mind about whether I was going to run before, when the election was coming. So I decided to jump in again, throw my hat in, because I love Decatur and I want to see it prosper. With 10 years on the council, I've got a lot of experience, on the financing and what's going on. I was involved with the neighborhood organizations, which is dear to my heart. I lived in 9 different rental properties growing up by the time I was in junior high school throughout the inner city. So I really care about the neighborhoods, and I want to see them prosper again and moving forward.
Can you talk about some of your things that you're most proud of from your time serving on the council, initiatives or programs that you were able to accomplish?
Well, again, we had started talking about the revitalization of our neighborhoods, which is a top priority for the city council. Also funding of the police, the men and women that serve on our police department and our fire department. And so that's one of the key parts of the city council. You want to make sure safety is number one in our community, making sure our great infrastructure is maintained and improved, because not only are our citizens partake of all those services, and also the went dead. Also went the infrastructure, but our businesses rely on that, and they're very good. We get a lot of compliments from many other community leaders throughout the state that we do keep our infrastructure going.
And so what would be some of your other key focuses if reelected? Is there anything else that you're like, man, if I had been on council last year or two, I would have gotten this done, or things that you kind of want to focus on right away if you get elected?
Again, we had started when I was on the council doing neighborhood walks. We would meet maybe once a month in a different neighborhood, walk through. I think that's important, and dialogue with the community residents. I'm big on that, getting out. I pride myself in I go to meetings, whether it has to do with the city, other government agencies, different organizations, to see what's going on, and listening to the people.
Absolutely. And so obviously, 3 of you, there are 3 seats open of all of the candidates. What do you think makes yourself more qualified than some of the other candidates?
Well, again, I think I bring the experience of being on the council before, being born and raised in Decatur, knowing what's going on. I keep my ear to the ground. Yesterday I went out and went back through a lot of the neighborhoods I hadn't been in for a while, just driving around, seeing what's going on. That's important. I used to ride a city bus once in a while, sit in the back, because a lot of times when you're in a bus you see things that you wouldn't see when you're driving. So that's important. I've always been involved in the community, whether volunteering. Presently, I'm still the liquor commissioner. I was the liquor commissioner for 4 years, and I kept that on. And I'm on a couple boards and things like that. So you have to be involved. That's important for anybody running for public office. It's just not twice a month meetings. You've got to get out there to see what's going on, listen to the people.
If voters are headed to the ballot this week in early voting, any last pitch or last things you'd want them to know about you?
Well, again, my heart is in this community, And that's you got to have heart to take on a job representing the people of the community, and to move forward. And again, I represent everybody, whether it's just the residents and the business community. So that's important. You've got to have heart, or you can't do your job right.